I have never been more excited or more terrified to film anything in my life than I am this video, but it's kind of hilarious and super embarrassing. I feel like I need to explain this properly. As a teenager, like every other really cool teenager of my generation, I was a Twilight fan. And not just like, oh yeah, Twilight's cool. No, I was obsessed with Twilight. And I was also one of the fans that was like, fan of Twilight before Twilight was a movie and became the whole thing it turned into. And I strongly think that the books are better than the movie, except the last book. No, I literally threw it across my room when I read it. I was so mad. Getting really off topic though. What does Twilight have to do with me drinking on a Tuesday night? And that is that the other day I was going through my room and found my very old, beat up High School Musical USB stick that I used all throughout high school, which featured a file I had simply named HG something something something. Yesterday I clicked it open and found some rough drafts of old Twilight fan fictions that I used to write. Not only was I a Twilight fan, not only was I books were better than the movies and I was a fan before every other fake fan, I read and wrote Twilight fan fiction. And since I hate myself, I got them on my phone and I thought I would read you some of my old Twilight fan fiction. I'm hoping if I say it enough, it won't be as cringy. It hasn't worked. Here's the thing. I know for a fact that some of them relate to actual stories and some are like standalone chapters, but I have not read them since I wrote them. And we're going to start with this one. Oh, okay, no, this one it's on my notes. Is part of a series, multi-chapter story that I wrote. So as I said, it was Twilight. It featured the wolves because I loved the wolves so much more than the vampires. It does not mean I was Team Jacob because I hated Bella. I thought Jacob should have got with Leah, who was the female werewolf. She had like a killer backstory. They like bonded in Breaking Dawn, and then they should have got together. Like Renesmee makes me so angry. Like pit of my stomach angry that she's a thing and that he imprinted and stupid stuff. So it was part of a multi-story where Leah got forced by Sam, who was the alpha, to go to a therapist. And she got alpha ordered to tell the truth, which meant she got locked up in a mental institution because she went around saying she was a werewolf. I'm putting off actually reading it, but I think it's time. Without further ado, Ellie, the author. This is Leah's point of view. If you truly love me, Jake, then why did you leave me there? Why didn't you come and get me or visit me once? Every time I had treatment, I kept begging you to come and save me. I needed you and you weren't there. Do you like my character voice? No one was, so why should I be there for anyone else? You'll keep telling me I need to go and see Emily because she's pregnant. But I've hurt and I haven't seen her since I got released. Because I've hurt her? I don't get that one. Anyway. But did she come for me ever? Ever? She never once visited. She didn't even ask Sam to remove the command. Jacob now. But Leah, we were just trying to help you. We thought we were doing the right thing. The right thing, Jake? I was beaten and tortured and was electrocuted. And I couldn't go on. The walls I'd carefully built crumbled and I was dragged into a memory. I hadn't been at the hospital very long and the doctors were trying to decrease my temperature. Of course, when I told them it was a werewolf thing, the head doctor said the same thing as he usually did. Prove it, Leah. Prove you're a wolf. If you can prove it, we will believe you. I tried to phase. I really did, but I couldn't. Sam already commanded us. We were not allowed to reveal ourselves to anyone that was not in the council or an imprint. Since these doctors were neither, I could only tell them I was a wolf, but I couldn't show them. See, Leah, you can't show me, can you? Do you know why it is that you can't show me? It's because you're lying. There is no such thing as a werewolf. Drama. High class quality drama right there. Out of the mind of 17-year-old Ali. Oh, but it keeps going. Yay. As I approached the White House. Oh, because the vampires, Cullens lived in a White House, not the White House. As I approached the White House, I felt nauseous. Spelled Noircious. But there was something else, a heavy weight in my stomach. It was dread. I dreaded facing these people. I wasn't scared exactly, more like I knew something wasn't right. It didn't make sense. I'd already met Jasper, Rosalie, Emmett, and I liked all of them. Hell, Rose was probably my best friend. Still, I swallowed hard and walled the double doors there were. Okay, I don't know what that was supposed to say. Something about double glass doors. There were all the Cullens sitting in the lounge room, as pale as the white furniture they were perched on. Ooh, perched. Finally, this is my father and leader, Carlisle. I turned to say hi, but as I looked in his face, the words died on my lips. Instead, I turned and vomited all I had eaten that morning, because looking back at me was someone I recognized. It was the face of the head doctor. He was in charge of the treatments. How many times has he told me that werewolves and vampires don't exist? How many times has he looked in my eyes while I was begging him to stop, only to have him tell me it was for my own good and resync? Oh, I think it's like supposed to be resync. And resync my head into the endless bucket of water and hold it there till I passed out. Yet standing in front of me wasn't the kind leader and father everyone knew him to be. He was cruel and vicious. Then, before I could act, I was pushed aside and all I saw was a white blur. I threw up my arms before I realised the blur wasn't going at me, but at Carlisle. Oh, I'm really getting into this. Whew. How could you? I need more alcohol. Sorry. How could you? Edward roared as he held Carlisle by the throat against the wall. Edward, Esme. Sorry. Edward, Esme shrieked. What are you doing? Put your father down. I hate this so much. Edward turned to everyone with eyes that were pitch black and growled, "He's no father of mine." Okay, everyone, how about we just calm down and talk it out like adults, Esme suggested in a tone of voice that left no room for arguments. Slowly, Edward released Carlisle, then slowly walked up to me and hugged me. "I'm so sorry, but I promise you're safe now." "Edward?" an annoying voice called from behind us. A shiver ran down my spine. Not even my memories really did justice to how pitchy and whiny Bella's voice could be. Edward smirked and murmured, "Be nice," at me. And then I remembered Edward's a mind reader, which means he saw exactly what Carlisle did to me at the hospital, had done to me at the hospital. Had did to me. I don't know. Last paragraph of this one. There are so many more. What did you do with your life? This is why you never had boyfriend or went out or had fun. I'm angry. I'm angry to the point where sometimes it smothers me like this beast that wants to rip my heart out through my chest. We all feel like this, sis. It's what happens when we phase. No, it's not, Seth. This is an anger originating from pain. This is one that turns your chest inside out and makes your breathing hard. It causes stinging in your eyes from the tears that are trying to escape. This is the worst pain. This is the pain of knowing you chose this because it was either anger or sadness. And sadness was too much to deal with. I got through one! Yes, self high five! Wow. It's very dramatic. Shall we carry on? I realised after filming the first part that this is definitely going to have to be a multi-part series because that took a while. I was not 16. I wrote this in 2012. So 5 years ago. I think I was not 20. We're going to pretend I didn't do that. And I was 19, I think, actually. Calm down. Wasn't that embarrassing. I was 19. I was still a teenager. It counts. I think this is a standalone and this one is another long one. So let's get into it. Get my... Gossip travels fast, especially in La Push, and definitely when it was good news. So it didn't surprise Jacob for 1 second how the news that the twins were coming home spread. What surprised him was no one bothered to tell Leah. Okay, so this was a Leah and Jacob story, obviously, because I was obsessed. He made the quick walk to her house. He just walked in and was surprised to find her sitting on the couch watching some girly movie. He made his way over and, leaning over the back of the couch, kissed the top of her head lightly. Leah tipped her head back, smiling. Hey, babe. Honestly, hey, babe. Why did I say, hey, babe? Okay. Sorry. Let's get over here. Why? So, hey, babe, what's up? Jake realised that she didn't know. Somehow, the gossip hounds of the push hadn't gotten to her yet. Hey, Leah, guess what? The twins are coming back. Jacob's twin sisters. Leah froze for a moment, her mind taking her on a trip down memory lane, one that she didn't want to go on. Then, seeming to remember where she was, she turned to Jake and smiled a tight smile. Oh, okay, I switched point of views. This is now Leah talking, because I was a really fancy writer who did that. Later, when Jacob left, I dropped the smile that had been there since he told me the news. I know Jake and Billy must be both excited. They've missed the girls so much. However, I couldn't share the excitement. I mean, sure, they used to be my best friends, but they were not anymore. And it really hurt me that they weren't there for me when I needed them the most. But for the sake of Jake, I'll be excited. I mean, them coming back can only be a good thing, right? My inner drama student is coming out. As I made my way to the Blacks, you could already tell something was different. Bags of stuff littered the lawn. The front door, which had always been unlocked, was closed and locked. So for the first time that Leah could ever remember, Leah was made to knock on the Blacks' door. Finally, the door opened to reveal Rachel. The first thing Leah noticed was that Rachel looked nothing like Jacob. Leah began to notice all the changes from when they were kids. Rachel certainly became more girly. Even now she was wearing an obscene amount of pink, complete with little heels. Take 3. This is the big epic fight scene. You tucked your tails and you ran when it got a little bit too hard. You're selfish, so don't think you can come back after all this time and just take over everything. You don't know shit about any of us, so back off. In fact, don't just back off. Why don't you take your fake hair and your fake boobs and your fake eyelashes and your fake everything back to whatever hole you crawled from. And you, miss, you can take your sensible shoes and jeans and your oh so sensible lifestyle and leave. If you were so sensible, you would have just stayed away. I was angry, apparently. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it at 3. So I have one more, so I will read the next one. Hopefully it's not too long. I apparently wrote quite this saucy little start to a story. Ooh, this is so bad. I just read it. Okay, let's finish this video off on a saucy note. Yeah, because that's not going to be weird and awkward. He picked me up and I wrapped my legs around his waist. You're mine. I'm not sharing you with anyone. Damn, not even the waiter tonight, because God, he did things to me. I replied with a grin. Jacob drops us onto the bed, trapping me under him. Then in one movement, he grabbed both my hands in one of his and held them above my head, while the Tine? T-I-N-E. I'm assuming it was like other hand. I don't know why I wrote Tine, but I'm assuming it's other hand. Let's try it again. Then in one movement, he grabbed both my hands in one of his and held them above my head, while the other came to my sides and began tickling me. Laughing, I turned and twisted, trying to get away from his fingers, but he had me restrained. Suddenly, something in the atmosphere shifted. His smile softened, and his eyes burnt with such passion. God, you're beautiful. Perfect. God, you're perfect. He breathed, and for once, I actually believed him. Leaning up, I caught his lips, and we shared a soft kiss, full of love. That night, I had Jacob. That night, I had Jacob. All I had. In the process, I just realised. Let me try it again. That night, I gave Jacob all I had, and in the process, I gave him all the tools he needed to break me. But somehow, even with knowing that, I couldn't find it in me to regret a single thing. Until Paul found out. ... I hate myself. Oh, teenage Ellie, why? Why did you think you were good or cool? And 20-something, 4-3, why did you think it was a good idea to read these? There you go. That was 3 of my very many Twilight fanfictions that I wrote. Yikes. Is probably really good. Just yikes. As I said, I have many more, so I will definitely be doing part 2 and probably part 3. I would encourage nobody to search and try and see if they can figure out what stories are mine out there in the Twilight fanfiction universe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So if anybody out there liked this, hopefully you would consider giving it a thumbs up. I'm not going to tell you to comment because, to be frank, I'm terrified of what the comments would say. So yeah, don't do that. And if you liked me but you didn't like this video or the amount of drinking in it, subscribe anyway, because you never know what I'm going to do next week. It will not be this. I regret so much in my life.